So, talk us through the feeling right now, getting the W, which had to come.
You go, Laws.
Yeah, it's really nice, to be fair, and I think there's no place like home to do it, and it was really great to see. I think the fans enjoyed it as much as we did, but ultimately for us, I think it just reinforces that the work that we're putting in, we're on the right track.
How pleased were you with a 60-minute performance?
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it was quite a 60-minute performance. I thought, look, there's some areas, once again, that we improved from last game that we did in Townsville. And as Laws mentioned, I feel that the strategies that we are doing or we have implemented, there's a means or there's a, it's coming together. I still feel I can see so much that we can improve on, but hey, a win is always good for us and good for the soul. And it's a good start once again.
What's your method behind sticking with the same starting 7 throughout the match?
I thought in Townsville, it was a different lineup, especially with Tapaya on the outside, Maria on the inside. I thought out of that combination there was enough to have another look, and I'm really pleased knowing that there's actually something of substance in there. I thought Maria was amazing. I think she shot something like 97% and only missed one. So once again, when she had ball in hand, she pretty much put it through the hoop and was very solid in that respect. I thought also throughout the court, once again, we had improved from the previous. And once again, I think over the last couple of days, those ones that did get the starting 7 in training, once again stood up. So I'm rapt that we've been able to look at or consolidate 2 or combinations, I suppose, over the 2 games. Probably considering where we were in the past, for us to get some good mileage with 7 starting and ending is of value to us.
What was better with the attack tonight other than the shooting? Because that's probably been the problem so far.
Yeah, I mean, I thought once again, Maria, when she is back, and the interchange between her and Tapaya, so her coming out actually provided us a level in that attacking end and Tapaya going in. I think it was probably only the last quarter that we saw the strength of that and that mix-up there. I also thought, looking at our numbers and what I also viewed, I think we only turned over the ball 28 times. So it was better than what we'd done previous. Once again, there's room for improvement when we get caught standing. They're gonna take the ball off us. So every little step, and I think we are taking steps every game we make. It's looking better.
What was the advice from the last game to now? I mean, you've got the same starting lineup, but what was the bottom line for you this week from the last match to tonight? What did you want cleaned up?
Possession's always about it. It's being able to deliver and execute under pressure. Every individual being able to do their own job. Because if they don't, then it impacts on the unit or other people to take the load. I thought we had another bash or clarity of our team strategies, and as a unit I thought we did really well, and as Law said, those are coming together and there's a lot of substance, but also overall it's the mental shift that we need to take, that it is what it is in regards to the physicality of what Australia do on us. It's just about us taking choices at certain times, and we ground it out, and I thought that was pretty cool from us.
With the attacking making a vast improvement tonight, it seemed like Katrina Grant, maybe Sam Sinclair, was a bit more active in that attacking as well. Was that something that you wanted to work on?
Yeah, well, we always know that we're going to get ball out of our defensive end, and that's been a consistent message, and every game that we've taken, defence have come up with ball. Our issue has been bringing the ball from one end of the court down to the other, putting the ball through the hoop, and then backing that up with a centre pass attack as well, so those sequence plays. Our turnover to score, which is something that we know it's sort of like the cream on the cake, was really high. And that also, I think, controls the momentum as well. So great improvements from where we were, and it's great to get the W on the board, but also we've got to be able to back it up.
Laura, do you feel a bit of weight lifted from your shoulders now? I know there was a bit of pressure this week about results need to come, and a lot of people saying that there's been improvements, but ultimately everyone wants the win. So do you feel like that pressure sort of been lifted?
I think for me, we knew it was there, and we just need to be patient. We were there or thereabouts, but we just had failure to launch really, or that punch through. So for me, I think the win is really reinforcement that our processes, when we get them right, when we have the discipline and the patience to stick to them, the scoreboard takes care of itself. So for me, I think I would describe it as reinforcement and an opportunity for us to back up.
How much did that home crowd help?
Yeah, there's no place like home, that's for sure.
Did it really, you think, help lift the spirits a little bit on court?
Yeah, I definitely. I think it's nice. It was really, I don't know about anyone else, but when you touch down in New Zealand, you just get this feeling of home. And I think as soon as we touched down in Auckland, and even though we had a bus ride, it was just, the fresh air's fresh. And it's just nice. It's great to be back in New Zealand.
And do you think the win tonight is going to help on Thursday, sort of reinstilling that confidence and seeing that you guys can produce a really great result?
Like I said, it's an opportunity for us to put a stake in the ground and get a measure of what we need to do to be consistent. I think the Silver Ferns have been renowned for being one-hit wonders, and that's just certainly something we want to address as a group.
Were you surprised about the number of changes Australia made tonight?
It was interesting, let's put it that way. Obviously with Jamie going and wing defence just coming into the mix and then moving to centre, that's quite interesting. And then the change up of all the shooting end. I suppose from my perspective, it's good to be able to see what those combinations look like, and can probably understand that they needed to mix it up to, I suppose, provide them with variety. So it was interesting and understandable from a coaching perspective.
They made a lot of turnovers. I think they had 28 turnovers, you had 21, according to my stats.
Oh.
It was uncharacteristic for an Australian side to perform to that level?
I'd like to put it that some of the stuff that we've been doing in our defensive end, our strategies, as we've mentioned before, we know that it's working, and there's some substance underneath. I think when we get to this point of time, and I'm just sort of speaking about ourselves, it always comes down to, bodies are a wee bit tired and minds maybe as well, but it's keeping possession of the ball. I think from our end, there was times when we were having a party all in one corner and no one moving, but sometimes that's just how it's going to be. So I'd like to think, the defensive stuff that we've done, that there is a bit of substance there, and hopefully that we're creating those turnovers. And it's great. We'll see what happens in the fourth test.
You said at the start of the series, that you'd be happy with at least one win and possibly the cup as well. Obviously the cup is still on the cards. How confident are you that you could still potentially take the Constellation?
We're still in the game, which is a really cool thing to know, and that we're in there. Obviously, we have to still go back and do our processes. We've got a couple of days, in training and travel. I always think it's going to be the top 2 inches. We are going to get ball no matter what. And, it's within our grasp to not only win the game, but also the cup as well. So I'm absolutely rapt that we're still in the game. But, we've got to be able to put the deeds out on court and put it into action. And, time will tell whether we can back ourselves up.
And Noeline, for you, it's taken 3 international tests against Australia to fully dissect not only your team, but Australia as well. What are the learnings you're taking away from this experience so far as national head coach?
Yeah, I think from my end, I can just see the gaps. I know that sounds terrible, but I can see room for improvement. I know where we currently are in the quad, and the Constellation Cup was always about our start and testing and assessing in real time. I can see the areas that we need to be better, and some of the stuff we can't do now at this moment of time. But it's very promising for us knowing that we've got the wheels in, 6 or 7 months' time. But, we are moving in the right direction. We are progressing, and there's substance behind the methods that we're putting out there. Very happy about that.
What are those gaps that you still need to plug?
Oh, look, I feel there's still pieces that I need to look at in regards to players. I feel, we've been able to build a bit of a base, but need to have a look at other players that can possibly strengthen that base and that foundation. definitely conditioning is an area that I'd like to improve on, and with the strategy that we're playing, we need fit players, and repeated efforts is going to be called on every time we take the court. So those things will have to happen in off-season, but as I mentioned, it's very promising, knowing that we've still got a big gap that we know that we can get better. There's so much upside for us. So it's great for us to get the win here today.
So is conditioning and fitness quite different in the Australian League to here? Is that what you're determining?
The game that we want to play definitely needs some engine. I thought once again, you know, even though we won, I thought it was fantastic, but I can see certain things that happens out on court. Everybody can see certain things. Once again, can see there are areas of improvement. So the game that we want to play, the style that we want to play, we need fit players. Not only that, it's also players that can, when we emulate the Wheels game after day after day after day after day. So, you know, it's fantastic that we've been able to get the win out of here today, but also, as I say, there's so much upside for us, and that's pretty cool to be a part of.